Yekem Mongol-Ulus, also known as Mongol Empire, was a country built in 1206 and ended in 1368. The most exciting thing about Mongol Empire was its territory. They had expanded their frontiers from this to this big with 80 years of conquest. Even though the empire fell 600 years ago, the empire was the biggest country in world history. Then we have the question, how did the Mongol Empire fight on conquest, and why were they so successful in conquering? Also, how did they fail with that victorious army? We will find out about the military of the Mongol Empire. Mongol Empire. This enormous kingdom was created by the first king Temujin, mostly called Genghis Khan. Temujin was born in 1168 as the son of Yesugei, the Borjigin clan leader. When Temujin was young, Mongolia and North China plains were chaotic with nomads. Numerous clans were fighting each other to conquer other nomads. Temujin joined the fight after his father, Yesugei, was assassinated. Even at a young age, Temujin won against most of the nomadic tribes of the Mongols and achieved the title Genghis Khan, meaning the great king of nomads. But two or more people also had the title of Khan, which is Gurkhan, also known as Jamukha, and Ongkhan, also known as Togrul. They allied together and attacked Genghis Khan. The power of Genghis Khan stumbled for a while from that alliance, but Genghis Khan stood up again and finally united the Mongolian nomads by killing other Khans in 1206. That was the start of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan didn't stop at the founding of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan and his armies horse hooves headed to the outside of the fields of Mongol. The first target of the Mongol Empire was Chinese countries, which were in the south of Mongol territory. Genghis Khan shot the first signal of conquest to the world in 1207 by invading Western Xia, a weak country near Mongolia. West Xia Kingdom had surrendered to Mongol Empire in 1209. The Jin dynasty was destructed and neutralized by Mongol Empire in 1214. Beijing was taken over by Mongol Empire in 1215. Then the Song dynasty withstood against the continuous invasion of the Mongol Empire for 44 years. Mongol Empire fought against multiple countries in Asia simultaneously and marched to the west quickly. Everything in the city was destroyed after Mongol Empire passed by. By the year 1223, Mongol Empire had the most extensive territory in history. In Mongol Empire's heyday, their frontiers were stretched and covered all Central Asia and some East Europe territory too. Their conquest finally slowed down in 1227 when Genghis Khan was dead. After Genghis Khan was dead, the authority of Mongol Empire was split and given to the sons of Genghis Khan. According to the Mongolian inheritance culture, the firstborn of Genghis Khan, Jochi, needed to have the most riches of Genghis Khan, but Jochi has a suspicion that he's a love child between Genghis Khan's wife and the enemy clan leader. Because of this issue, Jochi was conflicted about the inheritance of with Genghis Khan's second son, Chagatai. Also, when Genghis Khan was dead, the firstborn Jochi and the second child Chagatai were far away from the metropolitan area of Mongol Empire, so the third son, Ogedei, succeeded the Khagan emperor of Mongol Empire. This conflict between Khan's children bring the result of civil war and division of Mongol Empire when third Khan, Mongke Khan, ruled the Mongol. Mongol Empire was weakened because of this division, but their influence in the world was still powerful. In 1260, the fifth Khagan, Kublai Khan, appeared in Mongol Empire. Kublai Khan had brought many changes to Mongol Empire in good ways and bad ways. He invaded the Song dynasty in 1266, which was the country that survived from Genghis Khan's army before. Mongol Empire could conquer all of the China if Song dynasty fell. Mongol Empire had an experience against Song dynasty from two invasions done in Ogedei Khan and Mongke Khan periods. So Kublai Khan brought 10,000 armies and attacked few important cities intensively. Song army defended against Mongol Empire desperately, but winning against the strongest army of the biggest country in the world was impossible. So the Song dynasty fell by emperor suiciding in water. After Mongol Empire conquered China, Kublai Khan changed the name of his country, and that was how Mongol Empire ended and Yuan dynasty started. Now we know about the overall history of Mongol Empire. Then let's listen about the Mongol Empire's method in their conquest. We need to know that the Mongol Empire was a nomadic country. All the early Mongol Empire people knew how to ride horses and shoot arrows because they always lived in plains without proper shelters. When people who had no homes gathered and made their homes, the real power of nomads emerged with a destructive way of empire. Typical Mongol Empire armies had 40% of heavy cavalries and 60% of light cavalries. Mongolian regions have a big temperature difference between day and night. Summer in Mongolia is always sizzling hot and winter is freezing cold. Innovating agriculture in this environment was challenging. So Mongolia developed animal husbandry instead of agriculture. Their horses for cavalries were different from Western cavalries. The mobility of Mongolian horses were unrivaled. When European knights moved 40 kilometers in one day, Mongolian horses could move 80 kilometers. The appearance of Mongolian horses were generally clunky, but their rough skins and thick hair gave them the best endurance in every environment. Armies of the Mongolian Empire break through the hot sands of Gobi deserts and cold snows of Russia by riding these horses and eating the milk of these horses. In the case of horse being tired, one soldier of the Mongol Empire brought 4 to 5 horses to substitute. Mongol Empire also developed archeries. If horses were used at the feet of the army, bows were used at the fist of the Mongolian Empire. Bows and arrows were the most important primary weapon that Mongol Empire used. They used arrows in all of the operations in war. Mongol Empire armies always possessed at least 3 types of arrows. One kind of arrow was narrow and heavy. It was used for penetrating armored enemies over long distances. Another type of arrow was big and wide. It was used to cause fatal damage to light armored armies at close range. Another type of arrow was for signaling allies by making noise and shooting at enemies. Archery of the Mongol Empire had a unique presence as weapons. The success of the Mongol Empire's conquest was in the mass production of heavy cavalry. Land of Mongolia had more iron buried than other countries. Genghis Khan noticed that after the unity of nomads, so he produced numerous heavy cavalries that could fight on the front lane. Heavy cavalries in the Middle Ages played the same role as tanks in modern days. So they usually fought in the middle of the enemy armies and made them confused in the war. Knights in Europe had the same role as Mongol heavy cavalry. They used metal platings and armor and saddles to increase the war stability, but the disadvantage was that it was too heavy and slow. Mongol heavy cavalry used lamellar armors that inserted leather between metal platings. Armies of Mongol Empire gave up their defense and gained speed for conquest. One of the most famous military of Mongol Empire is Keshik. They were created in 1203 for the bodyguard of Khan. There were only 100 Keshik when it was first created, but it was a prestigious class with 10,000 numbers when it was their heyday. The main job of Keshik was to guard the Khan's barrack from assassination. Keshiks protected Khan by moving around Khan's barrack at a distance of 500 meters with a security dog. They were mounted archers in war and managed many military items when Khan was not moving with their army. Keshik was a class made up of different races. Originally, Mongolian nobility fought as Keshik, but people from Mongolian colonies joined to be Keshik. Being a Keshik was a big honor in Mongol society. We can guess that from the word Keshik, which means blessed. There were many tactics that Mongol Empire used for conquest. Mainly they used tactics that best used cavalry's mobility. Before the battle, Mongol Empire settled down on the highlands and sent a skirmisher who did reconnaissance and got information about the enemy. When the battle started, people called Manghul tempted the enemy to a specific area. After the enemy came to the right place, ambushed Mongol armies, besieged them, and then attacked them. This tactic was a traditional method of Mongolian nomads who thought to use their surroundings actively. This was the basic method of Mongol Empire in conquest. As the age passed, the military of the Mongol Empire showed its limits. The main reason of declination of the Mongol army was the invention of firearms. Mongol Empire used horses in the war, but horses were also lives that have feelings. So Mongol Empire was impossible to win against guns because horses ran away from gunshots. Also, there was a problem in the cavalry too. Mongol Empire conquered all of Middle Asia using the mobility of cavalries on the plain region. So they couldn't get any strength from environments inappropriate for horses to run, like in environments of siege, sea battle, and jungle. Yuan dynasty proved these limitations by failing to conquer Japan, Tran dynasty, and the Singhasari kingdom. Hongwu emperor kicked out Mongols to North China again by using these disadvantages of the Mongol military. Yuan dynasty. The success of Mongol Empire fell in 1368, losing all the territories that the Mongol Empire conquered. The history of Mongol Empire and its tactics significantly influenced the world. Now every people knows about the terror of the Mongol Empire, and numerous architectures were destroyed by the hoofs of the Mongol Empire. There is also a research result that Genghis Khan postponed global warming for 200 years by slaying a quarter population of Asia and Europe. But the most interesting thing is that people today still use Mongolian tactics in modern war, just changing the bow to gun, changing cavalry to tanks. So far, it was Dion 9A. Thank you for listening.